And we are live. Let's see. Are we live? I think we might be. Guys, let me know. Are we live? Can you hear me? Are we live, guys? Let me know. Can you hear me? It's looking like we might be having some connection issues. Let me know. Are we having some connection issues? Or can you hear me? Are we good? Fantastic. Guys, let me know. Have we got any lag or can you hear me clearly? I think we might have some connection issues. Oh, this is not good. My Wi-Fi seems to be playing up. This is not good. This is not good, guys. Okay, a couple of people saying that it's a bit laggy. Guys, bear with me. Today's session will be going ahead. I might have to change the Wi-Fi, which should hopefully fix the issue. God. Hello. Check. Are we back? Are we back? Guys, let me know. Can you hear me in the chat, please? Let me know. Can you hear me? Are we back? Are we back? Okay, that has made me so happy. Okay, Cosonic says, yes, it works. Gracie, yes. Julie says, better. Fashion Diva, better. Charlotte says, yep, all good now. Tesney says, seems good so far. Aki says, it's better now. Yes, says Sam. Fantastic, guys. We are back. We are live. I swapped my Wi-Fi network. My laptop was playing up, but we seem to be back now. Okay, can I please get a W in the chat for me if you can hear me clearly, if the audio's good, if everything is running as it should be? Let's get a little W in the chat. Thank you, Peter Parker. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Fashion Diva, Sonic T94, Aki. Thank you, guys. A couple of people asking what paper this is. Today, guys, you can see we're moving on to a paper 2. So we have the June 2022 paper 2. So, oh, we've got the Derby County person back. Time to put them in the timeout. Fantastic, Jack Turner. Thank you, Gracie. Brilliant. Okay, guys. So, welcome if you are new. It's very nice to meet you. My name is Matt. And today we're going to be going through a GCSE Maths Paper 2, higher tier Edexcel. If you're doing foundation, the first part of the session is going to be beneficial because the first part of the higher paper is also the foundation paper. But then if you're doing AQA, it's also going to be beneficial. Why? Because AQA and Edexcel are super similar. Okay, I want to get started now because I know it is now 37 past. We're going to get into this paper with some simplification questions. We have some laws of indices, we have some expanding and simplifying, and some factorising. The format, guys, is simple. I'll give you a little bit of time to do each of the questions, and then I will go through the answers. The more marks it's worth, the more time I'm going to give you. For these little 1 markers at the start, I'm not going to give you long at all, but I am going to do these 3 questions in one go. So put your answers for 1A in, put your answers for 1B in, and put your answers for 1C in. We're going to go through them all in one go. 5 marks up for grabs. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Hello, Aki, Gracie, Hishana, Kosonic. Good to have you guys. Hello, Fashion Diva. Pleasure as always. Charlotte Jones, Julie, Zara. Wonderful, wonderful. I can see some answers in the chat for question 1A. What about 1B, guys? What about 1B? Answers in the chat for 1B now. Answers in the chat for 1B. I can't lie, guys. I was low-key panicking at the start there. I was panicking a little bit because the connection, that's not supposed to happen. For some reason, my streaming software still says I'm online, but you guys can offline, so you guys can hear me. Fantastic. What about part C, guys? So we're in for we're up for an inspired session today. Okay, and what about part C in the chat now for me, team? Part C in the chat for me. And then we'll go through part 1A, 1B, and 1C all in one go. Part 1C answers in the chat. I've not seen anybody put it in yet. Okay, nice, Peter Parker. Things we love to see. Good job, Gracie. Anybody else? Okay, mine clap creepers is in there as well. Okay, team, let's have a look at question number 1. So, question number 1. 1A says simplify x to the power of 3 to the power of 5. When we have a base to a power and we raise the whole thing to a power, what do we do with the powers? We multiply them. So here we're going to do x to the power of 3 times by 5 is going to be 15. Question 1B, expand and simplify 4 bracket x plus 3 bracket plus 7 bracket 4 minus 2x bracket. Step number 1, let's go ahead and expand these brackets. How do we expand single brackets, guys? We times the number on the outside by each of the terms on the inside. So we're going to start off by doing 4 times by x, which is 4x. And then we're going to do 4 times by 3, which is 12. Plus 7 times by 4 is going to be 28 minus 7 times by minus 2x is 14x. Now, what do? We collect our like terms. We combine our numbers with our numbers. So we do 12 plus 28, which is going to be 40. And then we collect our letters with our letters, only combining the same letters. 4x minus 14x. This is minus 10x. Part 1C, definitely the toughest of the three. Factorize fully 15x cubed plus 3x squared y. When we expand, we get rid of the brackets. But when we factorize, we put it back into brackets. How do we do it? Well, we need to look for anything which both of our terms have in common. And then we're going to pull those out as factors. Looking firstly at our numbers, 15 and 3 both have a common factor of 3. So we can factorize out of 3. Now we can see that both of the terms also have a common factor of x squared. X squared goes into x cubed. You times it by x to get x cubed. X squared also goes into x squared y. So we can write the 3 and the x squared on the outside. Now it's crucial, guys. It says factorize fully. So we need to pull out everything. Everything which we can. What do we times by 3x squared to get 15x cubed? Well, we times the 3 by 5 to get 15. And we times the x squared by x to get x cubed. Now, what about the 3x squared y? What do we times by 3x squared to get 3x squared y? We just times it by y. So we're going to get our final answer of 3x squared y bracket 5x plus y bracket. Good work. Guys, if you got that one, if you didn't get it, let me know if you understand it now. Good work, Peter Parker. Nicely done, Abdullah Islam. Nicely done, Fashion Diva. You guys are doing a great job so far. Question 2. Let's go through this one next. Remember, guys, answers in the chat for me. This is a 2-mark question. It says, describe fully the single transformation that maps shape S onto shape T. Shape S onto shape T. What is the single transformation? That's a really good question, WX set. Really good question. So WX set says, with maths, does it work out a mark per minute? And should you come back to a question if you spend more than 1 minute on it with no progress? Great question. Great question. Guys, the paper is 90 minutes long. It's an hour and a half. and it's 80 marks. What that means is you have just over a minute, like just over a minute for each of the questions. A mark a minute is a great way to think, and that is roughly the pace at which you want to be working. Is it beneficial to always be thinking about how many minutes you've taken up and how many marks you've got? No. The better way to think about it is give a question a good go. Don't spend too long on it if it's not worth too many marks. And then if you can't figure it out, move on to the next one. So, kind of a mark a minute is a fantastic benchmark if you can keep track of it like that. But you don't need to obsess over it as well, is what I would say. Let's see. I can see a few answers going in the chat. Yeah, brilliant, guys. Sam, Akil, Abdullah, Mind Clapper, Gracie. Everybody's saying it's a translation, and you're correct. So, how are we going to do this one? And then it's a translation by a certain vector, and we need to know what the translation is by. So, let's see if people have fallen for the trap in this. Quite a few people have. There's a trap that they laid, and it's fantastic that we're going through this because after seeing this once, you're not going to fall into the trap again. So let's have a look then. Question number 2. This one says, describe fully the single transformation that maps shape S onto shape T. What's the trap, guys? This diagram looks like we're going from T to S. I don't know what it is about it. Well, I do know actually. It's the fact that the T is in the top left and the S is in the bottom right. So we instantly think quite often that we must be going from T to S. But look, the question says that maps shape S onto shape T. So we're actually going from S to T. Now, next step. We have 4 types of transformations. We have reflections, we have enlargements, we have rotations, and we have translations. This one, what's it going to be? Well, we can see that we've picked shape S up. It's remained exactly the same shape and exactly the same size, and we've literally moved it over to shape T. So what's this? This is a translation. A translation, remember guys, is one where we literally pick up and move the shape. Now that's for 1 mark. Translation for the 2nd mark, we need to know what vector we're translating by. So we're translating, or it's a translation by, and then what does this mean? It means how many to the left or right do we go and how many up or down. What we do is we choose a corner on shape S. I'm going to choose this one, the top left, and we see how do we get to shape T. How many up do we go and how many left do we go? Let's count. So we're going from the top left of shape S to the top left of T. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. So 6 up, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. 5 left. Now, how do we write this as a column vector? Because that's what we want to write this as. Well, we're going to write it as one number on top of the other in brackets like this. The top number tells us how many left, how many right. The bottom number tells us how many up, how many down. Because we are going 5 to the left, the top number is going to be negative, and because we're going 6 up, the bottom number is going to be positive. Remember, top number, if it's negative, we're going left, positive, we're going right. Bottom number, if it's positive, we're going up, and if it's negative, we are going down. So, final answer to that one, we have a translation by the vector -5, 6. Yeah, guys, let me know. Did we fall into that little trap there? I know a lot of people will have. How many people? Let's get a quick L in the chat if we fell into that trap. Let's get a quick L into in the chat if we fell into the trap. Because I know a lot of people will have fallen into that. Even to be honest, when I did that question for the first time, I didn't read it properly, and I also fell into the trap. Yeah, look at this, guys. We got L's all over the gaff. Higston, Anjal, Gracie. So if you fell into the trap, you're not on your own. But guys, remember this moment. Take it into your exam. We're not going to fall into the trap again. Okay. Which question should we do next? Let's do question 3. Let's do question number 3. You guys will have seen already the banner at the top here, just under my logo. Today is the last chance to join the Live Academy for the regular price of £37 a month. So if you've been thinking about it, guys, sign up today. I'll explain a little bit more about it at the end for anybody who doesn't know what it is. But basically, to cut a long story short, it's my kind of premium platform that has everything you need for GCSE math, loads of support, loads of videos, loads of extras. And I'm about to add so much more stuff to it, including more live streams, special guest speakers, motivational talkers, motivational speakers, all of that stuff, which is why the price is about to go up. However, if you sign up today for the £37 a month, you still get access to all of the new bonus stuff. Your subscription doesn't go up in price. So yeah, if you've been thinking about it, today's the day. What do we think, guys? Question number 3. We have a classic bounds question. We've been asked to put in an error interval. Comel4 says, I need to join that. Honestly, guys, it's sick. I've been kind of playing around with these live streams and different kind of different models for teaching GCSE maths and communities and subscriptions and all of this stuff for a while. This is the first time. I've been doing this for 3 years. This is the first time where I can sit here and say, this is sick. So if you get it for £37 a month, you're going to be laughing. Yeah, if you have any questions, I can answer them at the end. Okay, yep, answers in the chat. Let's have a look. Question number 3. It says, the length of a football pitch is 90 meters, correct to the nearest meter. Complete the error interval for the length of the football pitch, and we can see that we've been given our bounds down here. So, how do we write this error interval? Well, what does the error interval tell us? It tells us the different possible values that our football pitch could have been before it was rounded to 90 meters. Now, what we need to basically do is to have a think about what numbers would round to 90 when rounded to the nearest meter. Below 90, we have 89, and above 90, we have 91. Well, the biggest number that would round, or sorry, the smallest number I'll go with first, the smallest number that would round up to 90 is 89.5. This would round up to 90 to one decimal, to the nearest meter. And on the other end, what do we have? Well, halfway between 90 and 91, we have 90.5. But would 90.5 actually round down to 90? No, it wouldn't. It would round up. The biggest number that would round that would round down to 90 is 90.4999999 reoccurring, kind of like this, 90.4999. But it's not very practical to write that. So when we write these error intervals, what we do is we say 89.5 is less than or equal to the length, which is less than 90.5. Now, what this does is it basically says that the 89.5 is included, but the 90.5 isn't included. Now, yeah, why do we write it like this? Because it's not very practical to write 90.4999. So we have the smallest number that would round up and the biggest number that would round down, but it's just a teeny bit more than that biggest number. But to make up for that, we write it with the inequality. Good work, Allegory. Good work, Charlotte Jones. Good work, Lil Faye. Good work, Finn. Brilliant job, guys. Brilliant job. Let's move on to question number 4. NJ says, to be honest, maths is probably the easiest subject to move up a grade in. Best advice is to practice papers and note down mistakes, then do topic-specific questions to fix it. Couldn't have said it any better. I'm pretty sure NJ got a grade 9. He's been moderating in the community and the chat for the past few years, helping out, answering questions, doing a fantastic job, bringing the vibes, bringing the energy, and he gives really stellar advice. And it's true. To be honest, guys, obviously I'm biased because I teach maths, but maths is the easiest subject to move up a grade in. Even though a lot of people don't like maths, I'm not saying you got to love it. That's for sure, for sure. I definitely didn't love it when I was your guys' age, and I still don't love it. But with the right systems, with the right approach, with the right revision, you can move up grades like clockwork. I've had students go from a grade 5 to a grade 8, grade 4 to grade 9. So yeah, somebody went last year from a grade 4 to a grade 9 inside of the Live Academy. It was crazy, and that was in 2 months. So yeah, with the right tactics, you can absolutely make the progress that you want to make. Question 4. What do we think, guys? What do we think? Answers in the chat for me when you're ready. How much greater? Area per person. Finlinden says, what other revision techniques can I use other than past papers? Finn, ask that question again next week. I know that sounds like a really annoying thing for me to say, but basically alongside the Live Academy, I've been developing this mastery system, which is basically like a framework for smashing your GCSE maths. Basically, it breaks it down into 3 stages. I don't know if this is on the screen, but understand with single topic practice, memorize with mixed topic practice. Oh, that was wrong. Memorize with mixed topic practice, and then apply with past paper practice. And essentially, I am publishing resources for all of these stages literally over the next week, guys, inside of the resource library. So the resource library is at MyGCSEMaths.com. But yeah, next week I'm going to do a kind of a full session for you guys just at the end, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes advising on revision strategies. So I'm going to be able to give you a proper presentation on that next week. Guys, let's see. Have we got answers? Can we get a ready in the chat, please, when you're ready for me? And we'll go through it. Ready when you're ready, ready when you're ready. Oh, guys, can you hear my music just before we go through it? You shouldn't be able to hear my music. Somebody said his bro got music on. Guys, I'm going to go silent for 10 seconds. Just let me know if you can hear my music. You got to turn the volume up to max as well, guys. Okay, that makes sense. April said we can just tell you're vibing to your music, but we can't hear it. Yeah. For anybody wondering, okay, I can't say the name of the song because it's got a curse word in it, but I got some Afro beats on basically. Okay, that's been long enough, guys. Let's have a look. Question number 4. It says Festival A will be in a rectangular field with an area of 80,000 meters squared. The greatest number of people allowed to attend Festival A is 425. Festival B will be in a rectangular field, 700 meters by 2,000 meters. The greatest number of people allowed to attend Festival B is 6,750. The area per person allowed for Festival B is greater than the area per person allowed for Festival A. How much greater? Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. How are we going to do this, guys? Well, we're going to have to work out the area per person, the area per person for both of them. How do we work out the area per person? Well, when it's one thing per another thing, it basically means divide. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the area divide by the number of people, So we can go ahead and start off by doing it for Festival A. Festival A has an area of 80,000 and 425 people are allowed to attend. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 80,000 meters squared. I don't know who wrote this question, but it's got some dodgy numbers. Divide by 425. 80,000 divided by 425. Let me quickly do it on the calculator. 80,000 divided by 425. That is 188.2. 188.2 ... And what about for the other one? Well, for the other one, we haven't actually been told the area, but we have been told that it's a rectangular field, which is 700 by 2,000. So what we can go ahead and do is we can use that information to work out the area for Festival B first of all. We know that the area of a rectangle, let me just go to green quickly. We know that the area for a rectangle is length times by width. So we can do 700 times by 2,000. 700 times by 2,000. 7 times by 2 is 14. And then we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we can go ahead and work out the area per person. We know that the area is, what's that? That is 1.4 million. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah, 1.4 million. So we're going to do 1,400,000 over 6,750. Again, we're going to type it into the calculator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divide by 6,750, and we get 207.4. Now, because it does say to the nearest whole number, 1 decimal point is enough accuracy, 1 decimal place. So we can do 207.4 minus 188.2. Typing this into the calculator, 207.4 minus 188.2. We're going to get 19.2. Oh, not 1.9. We're going to get 19.2, which to the nearest whole number, because it does say to the nearest whole number, is going to be 19. And that is our answer. Let me know, guys. Did we get that one? Good work, Abdullah. Was the explanation okay? Did it help? If somebody didn't get it, but it makes sense now, let me know in the chat. Just say, makes sense now. Part B, this is a great question. Good work, April. Good work, Sarin. Peter Parker says, great explanation. Glad it helped, mate. Glad it helped. Ida said, OMG, sir, you used to join your lives last year and I got a 9. I miss your lives so much. Hey, that's so good to hear. So good to hear. Pleasure to have you back, Aya. Or Ayad. Okay, what do we think for part B? MB said, yes, how many marks if you put 19.2? Great question. You'd get 3 marks because it does say correct to the nearest whole number. You got all of your working out, but you didn't get that final answer mark. So you'd get 3 marks out of 4 if you put 19.2. What do we think for this one, guys? It says Callum says 300 centimeters squared is the same as 3 meters squared because there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter, so you divide by 100. Callum's method is wrong. Explain why. What do we think, guys? Somebody said high key. Callum is high key tweaking. That was quite hard to say. Abdullah said, I'm not sure for this one. Callum should have divided by 10,000. Yep. Guys, listen very carefully for this one if you're not sure how to do it, because it's an important question, only because the topic comes up a lot and people don't normally get it. The topic is actually similar areas, kind of. So let's have a look. The question says, Callum says 300 centimeters squared is the same as 3 meters squared because there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter, so you divide by 100. Here's the difference, guys. Even though 1 meter is 100 centimeters, 1 meter squared is not 100 centimeters squared. Now, the reason is because let's say that we have a square and we have a width of 1 meter and a height of 1 meter. Let me just move this over to the right a little bit. What it means is we have a width of 100 centimeters and a height of 100 centimeters. So the area isn't 100 centimeters squared. The area is 100 times 100, which is 10,000. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10,000 centimeters squared. So he should have actually divided by 10,000. Or, in other words, he should have divided by 100 twice. So Callum's method is wrong. Explain why. This will get you the marks. 1 meter squared is 10,000 centimeters squared. He said there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. There isn't. There's actually, I'm sorry, there is, but there's not 300 centimeters squared in 3 meters squared. There's actually 30,000. April said, oh, I get it now. Jerome said, do you have to explain in word form? You don't, Jerome. You don't have to explain in word form. For this one, it's enough to write it. I mean, this isn't the perfect writing because I was also teaching the understanding behind it. You could just say this and you'd get the mark. You could just say this. You could also say 3 meters squared is 30,000 centimeters squared. Okay. Let's move on to this one. This is a great question. Question 5. Should we do this one? Or let's do this one. Question number 9. How are we doing on time? Yeah, okay. Let's do this one. Question number 9. Fashion Diva said, I just don't know how to really revise properly to make it stick. At home, I do well in past papers, and then at school, I freak out. Fashion Diva, there's so much I have to say about this topic, but I'm going to wait until next week when I can say it properly. Because like I said, I've been working on this mastery system. The Live Academy is about to evolve to basically be like mentoring and guidance through the mastery system, as well as past paper practice, a full higher past paper every week and a full foundation past paper every week, but also kind of mentoring and guidance through the perfect GCSE math revision strategy. Basically 3 stages: understand, memorize, apply. You go through those stages. We have trackers, all of that stuff, which is why the Live Academy is about to go up in price. Today is the last day to get it for £37. I'm going to say this a few times today because I don't want anybody to miss out and then not be able to get it for the higher price if they were thinking about getting it. If any of you have a tutor, if you have a great tutor and you're happy with how things are going, then that's brilliant. Definitely don't change it. However, if you have a tutor and you're not really enjoying the lessons and you're not really seeing the benefits, I would really recommend reflecting and thinking about whether this might be better than your tutor. You know, when you speak to your parents, tutor's one option. It's really expensive. Tutors are normally £160 a month on average, even more, £240 a month. This is £37 a month, so your parents are going to love it if you have a tutor already. And honestly, if you have a really, really good tutor, one-to-one is better. But if you have most tutors, this is way, way more effective than having a tutor. Okay. Let me know when you're ready for the question, guys. Drop a little ready in the chat, and we will have a look. It's a good one. Peter Parker says my tuition is in the trenches. Yeah, it's the case with a lot of people's tuition, guys. That's why I've launched this basically. It's a tutoring alternative. Okay, Jerome says almost done. Sam's ready. Karam 4's ready. Rouge Numpty said, are you able to do SQA past papers, please? I really need to know. Unfortunately, we do EdXL past papers because most people do EdXL, and if you do AQA, it's still really beneficial to do EdXL. Whereas if I go to SQA, OCR, it's a little bit different. I want to make this appropriate for everybody or as many people as possible, which is why we do AQA. Okay, team, let's have a look. Question number 9. It says a box is in the shape of a cuboid and it's placed on a horizontal floor. The box exerts a force of 180 newtons on the floor. The box exerts a pressure of 187.5 newtons per meter squared on the floor. The face is in contact with the floor. The face in contact with the floor is a rectangle of length 1.2 meters and with width x meters. Work out the value of x. And we've been given this pressure equals force divided by area formula. So we could do this with the pressure equals force over area formula, or we could use our triangle. And I know a lot of people love the triangle. So that is what I'm going to go ahead and use to do it. but you could absolutely use the formula as well. So we know that pressure is on the bottom left, force is on the top, and area is on the bottom right. Now let's have a think about this. We know that the face in contact with the floor is a rectangle, and we know that the width is 1.2 meters, or the length, and we need to work out the width. Now I'm instantly thinking, if I know the area of this rectangle, then I can use the formula area equals length times by width, or area of a rectangle equals length times by width, to work out my area. And then I can divide the area by 1.2 to work out the width. But first of all, then I need to work out the area. How do we work out area? Well, we've been given the force and we've been given the pressure. We want to work out the area. So we look at our triangle, we cover up the A, and we're left with F over P. So what this tells us is that area is equal to force divided by pressure. Area is equal to force divided by pressure. We can substitute in our values. Our force is 180. Our pressure is 187.5. And we're going to type that into the calculator. So 180 divided by 187.5, and we're going to get 0.96. Now, we know that the area is 0.96. We know the length is 1.2 and the width is x. We know the area of a rectangle is equal to the length times by the width. So we can plug in our area, 0.96. We can plug in our length of 1.2. And then our width we can write in as x. Now, guys, we have an equation which we can rearrange to work out x. What we can do is we can divide both sides by 2. Sorry, not 2, 1.2. The x is currently being multiplied by 1.2, so we divide both sides by 1.2. We're going to get 0.96 divided by 1.2 is equal to x. We type that into the calculator, 0.96 divided by 1.2, and we're going to get 0.8. 0.8, so 0.8 equals x, which is just the same as x equals 0.8. Guys, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. How did we find that one? Did it make sense? Did we get it? Carmel 4's off ski. Goodbye, Carmel 4. Good to have you on as usual. Fantastic. A couple of people asking what time the live ends. I'll be live until 6:30. Serene says, sadly, going to have to go leave soon because we have to break our fasts. Guys, happy iftar. Enjoy it. That's what I'll say. Next up, we are going to have a look at question number 11. Question number 11. I'm going to go off the camera for a second because I need to plug my laptop into charge. Just a sec, guys. And we're back. Questions, team. Let me know. Maybe I'll do a... Yeah, okay. What do we think, guys? Do we know this one? Have we got any ideas? Are we thinking I've got no idea? I'm completely stuck. T94 says I'm a tad stuck. Akil says I'm a tad stuck. Or I hate these ones actually. Alfie said show. Alfie said, how do I show? Guys, this is going to be a big opportunity for gains, this one. Big opportunity for gains. Alfie said, I know how, but how do I show it in the chat? Good question. Just write out your calculations. Just write out your calculations. Okay, guys, ready in the chat for me when you are ready. Kieran has 13 workers. Good man. 13 workers. I'm not seeing many readies in the chat. Tesney said, why do we all have different answers? Help. Yep. I can see a few different answers in the chat. Guys, make sure you let me know at the end of this if it makes sense for me. Make sure you let me know. Again, drop a little ready in the chat for me if you're ready. Alfie says, should I grab my calculator? I'm doing it mentally. You can do it either way, mate, but I would definitely recommend having a calculator. It'll make your life a little bit easier. It's a calculator paper, guys. Paper 2 today. Calculator paper. Okay, our kill's ready. There's 44 of us. I've only seen one ready in the chat. Guys, I had my first session back in the gym after ages earlier, and it was so good. Still not many readies in the chat. Still not many readies in the chat. Not today, Locks, not today. Okay, I can see a few more readies going in the chat. I do want to have time for a few more questions. So let's have a look at this one now. The question says, Kieran has 13 workers that he can use for a job. He knows that 6 workers would take 14.5 days to complete this job. Show that Kieran has enough workers to finish this job in less than 7 days. What we're going to do is we're going to work out how many days it's going to take Kieran to finish the job with his 13 workers. And ideally, this is going to be less than 7. So how do we do this? What topic is this? This is real world direct and inverse proportion. So what do we do? Well, the best way to do this is to firstly work out how many worker days or days of human effort we have in total. If you think about it, we have 6 workers and each of them together are taking 14.5 days. So how many total days of effort? If you have one person working for 14.5 days, well, that's like 14.5 days of effort. But 2 people, both of them working for 14.5 days, you have double as much effort. You essentially have 29 days of work, which is double 14.5 happening in those in that time period. So 6 workers and 14.5 days for each worker. Well, the total number of days of productivity, 6 workers, 14.5 days each. 6 times 14.5, I'm pretty sure is 87, but let me type it in. 6 times 14.5, yeah, 87 days of effort. Now, this is a key bit to understand. 87 days of effort. Now, do we have more than one person in total to exert this 87 days of effort? Well, we're splitting this 87 days of effort between 13 workers. So if it was one person, it would take 87 days, but we're going to split the work between 13 workers. We're going to divide the work between 13 workers. So we're going to do not 18. We're going to do 87 divide by 13 to work out the number of days. 87 divided 13 on the calculator is 6.69. 6.69 dot dot dot. And it is in fact 6.69 to 2 decimal places. Now we can see that it's less than 7 days. It is actually 6.69 days. Good work, Fashion Diva. Ava says, where does it say each worker? Yeah, good point, Ava. It's kind of hidden in there. So it's a nifty question wording there. We know that we have 6 workers, and it takes them all together 14 and a half days. So all of them are working for 14 and a half days. Guys, let me know. Does it make sense now? Does it make sense now? Good work, Tesney. Good work, Lincoln New. Zara said, I converted into hours. Does that work fine too? Yes, it does. As long as you got 6.69 times 24 as the number of hours, then yeah, you could do it that way. Nice. Akil says, I understand it now. Brilliant. Fantastic, guys. Fantastic. Next up, we're going to do... how are we doing on time? 20 past. Let's do... Let's do this one. Question 12. Great question here. Really good question. Lots of understanding goes into this one. Oh, guys, let me know. Would you rather do the last question in the paper? We can just skip to the last question in the paper. But I know most people are probably going to zone out if we do the last question in the paper. But some people are going to really want us to go through the last question in the paper. So we could do this one and another shorter one. Or we could go ahead and do the last question in the paper. And it's going to be 5 marks for the last question. What would we rather do? I'm going to set up a quick poll, actually. Okay, get your vote in the chat for me. And in fact, I'll do this one and the last question. How about that? Tesney said, yes, let's challenge ourselves and reach our full potential to get the grades we deserve. Okay, most people are saying last question, guys. We'll do question 12, because I know some people have just solved it. And then we'll do the last question in the paper. Let's have a look. So question number 12, for anybody who has been working on it. It says the equation of line L1 is y equals 2x plus 3. The equation of the line L2 is 5y minus 10x plus 4 equals 0. Show that these two lines are parallel. How do we do this? Well, we need to know a few different things to do this. The first thing we need to know is that parallel lines are lines which have the same gradient. The second thing we need to know is that to work out the gradient of a straight line like these, we can write it in the form y equals mx plus c, and then the m is going to be the gradient, or in other words, the number next to the x is going to be the gradient. So basically, to show they have, or to show that they're parallel, we have to show that when they're both written in this form, they have the same value of m. So for L1, we can actually see it's already written in this form. We have the line L1, which is y equals 2x plus 3, because there's a 2 next to the x, the gradient is equal to 2. Now for line L2, we have a little bit more work to do, because it's not currently in the right form. We have 5y minus 10x plus 4 equals 0. Step number 1. Let's make it so that the y is on its own, or at least the 5y. So what we're going to do to rearrange it into this form is we're going to start off by moving the 10x and the plus 4. Because we have a minus 10x, we're going to add 10x to both sides. And because we have a plus 4, we're going to minus 4 from both sides. We're going to get 5y equals 10x minus 4. Next step, to get the y on its own, at the moment it's being multiplied by 5, so we're going to divide both sides by 5, making sure we divide both of the terms by 5. 10x divided by 5 is 2x. Minus 4 divided by 5 we can just write as minus 4 over 5. Now that it's in the form y equals mx plus c, and plus can be plus or minus, we can work out the gradient. It's the number next to the x. We have gradient equals 2. So we can finally say that both lines have gradient equals 2, so parallel. And I was a bit lazy with my writing there, so they are parallel. Whoosh! What do we think of that one, guys? Let me know in the chat. Did it make sense? Did we get it? Good work, Fashion Diva. Good work, Akil. Fantastic, guys. Okay, final question of the day. We're going to skip forward. Last question in the paper. Question 22, 5 marks. I'm not going to give you too long for this one, to be honest, guys, because I don't have too much time. But I do want to give you time to think about it. This is also grade 9. Grade 9, 5 marks. What's the topic, guys? What's the topic? Does anybody know the topic? Akil says, yep. Tesney says, oh. Fashion Diva says, oh, Lord, I'm already scared looking at it, but I'll have a go. Good work, Fashion Diva, guys. I'm not going to give you long for this, only 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and go through it. Find algebraically the set of values of x for which x squared minus 9 is greater than 0 and 5x squared minus 31x minus 72 is greater than 0. P4 RYAS says, my brain hurts. I know a lot of people are feeling that way, but guys, stay with me. My hope is that after this question, some of you, or a lot more of you, can do this. It's a tough one, but it's achievable. It's attainable. Do we know the topic? Quadratic inequalities. Thank you, NJ, for doing a great job moderating the chat. Always good to have you on, mate. Foot Transport says, oh my days, I need to come to this next week. I won't forget. Welcome to the community, my friend. Pleasure to have you. Fashion Diva, congratulations. Tesney said, guys, why am I getting infinity? Are you ready, team? You ready for me to go through this? Drop a little ready in the chat for me if you're ready. Guys, please lock in. I'm really confident that if you know quadratics and you know a little bit about inequalities, I'm going to be able to teach you this. It's really important to me also that you let me know if you don't get this now, but know how to do it after we go through it. I want a little G in the chat. Actually, gains. Gains if you understand it now. That's going to be what I ask you for. Okay. Team, the final question of this paper, question 22, grade 9, 5 marks. Let's see what we can do. Find algebraically the set of values of x for which x squared minus 49 is greater than 0 and 5x squared minus 31x minus 72 is greater than 0. What we have here is we have two quadratic inequalities. X squared minus 49 is quadratic, and it's an inequality. 5x squared minus 31x minus 72 is a quadratic, and it's an inequality. What we're going to have to do is solve both of these quadratic inequalities, and then find the set of values of x which satisfies both of them. Let me show you what I mean. So first off, how do we solve a quadratic inequality? The first thing that we do is we sketch it. Or, yeah, that's the first thing we do. So how do we sketch x squared minus 49 on a graph? Or y equals x squared minus 49 on a graph? The first thing that we do is we factorize it. And that is going to allow us to work out the roots. So we have x squared minus 49 is greater than 0. Now I'm just going to move this down. I'm going to factorize this. We have the difference of two squares. So x plus 7, x minus 7 is greater than 0. Now that we have this in factorized form, and we have a 0 on the other side, we can read the x-intercepts by looking at these two values and reversing the signs. So this one gives an x-intercept of minus 7, so minus 7. This one gives an x-intercept of positive 7, so positive 7. And then we can sketch our quadratic happy face. Now, we need the range or the zone or the area or the region on the graph where this is greater than 0. In other words, where the graph is above the axes. This is the region where the graph is above the axes. So this region and this region. Well, what are the values of x in these two regions? Well, this is to the left of minus 7. So we have x is less than minus 7. And this is to the right of 7. So we have x is greater than 7. So these are the two regions which satisfy this inequality. Now we're going to do this for 5x squared minus 31x minus 72. This is going to be a bit longer because this is going to be really hard to factorize. So we're going to solve it firstly using the quadratic formula. So we have 5. Let me go back to nice blue color. So we have 5x squared minus 31x minus 72 is greater than 0. Step number 1, we're going to sketch it out. This time it's going to be a little bit harder to solve to find those roots like we did because we can't factorize. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. To use the quadratic formula, we do a equals number next to the x squared, so 5. B equals number next to the x, so minus 31. C equals number on the end, so minus 72. Now we sub this into the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula, where shall I write it? I'm going to write it down here. Oh no, I'll write it here. Is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And now we can actually sub that in. This is going to get a little bit cramped, guys. I'm sorry. But we're going to hopefully make this clear with colors. So minus b, so minus 31 plus or minus the square root. And I'm going to make all of this a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to move it to the left. There we go. So plus or minus the square root of b squared. So minus 31 squared minus 4 times a, so 5, times c, so minus 72. All over 2a, so 2 times 5. Now notice, I've put the minus 31 in brackets here and the minus 31 in brackets here. Technically, you don't need to do it here, but it does make it clearer because we have the minus of the minus, just making sure we do that. Here it absolutely has to be in brackets because we have minus 31 times by minus 31. If you miss these brackets, you're going to get the answer wrong because you're going to do minus 31 squared. You need to have the minus 31 inside the brackets. Now we can work out our two values with the quadratic formula. So I'm going to go ahead and type all of this into the calculator. So fraction 31 plus I'm going to do first the square root of 31 squared minus 4 times 5 times minus 72 all over 2 times 5. I type that into the calculator and I get 8. Now I'm going to go back into my calculator. I'm going to type it. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. That's my bad. I'm going to go back in and do it with the minus. This time I'm going to get minus 9 over 4. So x equals 8 or x equals minus 9 over 5. Let me just double check something. Ooh. Okay, perfect. So we have our two values of x. Where do we go from here? Again, we're going to need to sketch it. So we're going to go sketch, sketch. Let me do it in orange again. 1x intercept of 8. 1 of minus 9 over 5. Draw my quadratic. That was a bit of a terrible drawing. But again, we need the region which is above the axes where it's greater than 0. This time that's going to be here. And that's going to be here. So that's going to be x is less than minus 9 over 5. And, or x is greater than 8. How's it looking so far, team? How's it looking so far? Final step. What is the region? Well, we need our value to satisfy this one and this one. So, on the left-hand side, this is less than minus 9 over 7. On the left-hand side, this is minus 9 over 5. If we're less than minus 9 over 7, we're also less than minus 9 over 5. If we're less than minus 9 over 5, we're not necessarily less than minus 7. So the one which is more restrictive is the minus 7. So we're going to have on the left, x is less than minus 7. Then applying the same logic on the right, x is greater than 7 or x is greater than 8. Well, if x is greater than 8, x is also greater than 7. But if x is greater than 7, it's not necessarily greater than 8. So we're going to choose x is greater than 8. You can kind of think of what's going on here as being like this. So if I drew one more graph, let's say this is minus 7, positive 7, and this is minus 9 over 5 and 8. So minus 9 over 5 and 8. The most restrictive region is essentially to the right of 8 and to the left of minus 7. Guys, we are finished. We are finished. What a question. What a question. Guys, let me know. Did we get that? Did it make sense? Are we completely lost? Because it was a tough one. It was a grade 9. It was 5 marks. Not many people will have gotten that, but let me know. Valley Vey said, I actually got this one. Drew said, yep, I got it. Fantastic. Tesney said, I will not miss it when I leave the live. Jennifer says, yes. Fashion Diva says, thank you. Sam says, that's easy when you get it. Aki said, got it. No way. Guys, congratulations on another fantastic session. What do we do at the end of the session, guys? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. What do we do at the end of the sessions? Does anybody know? NJ, you definitely know. NJ in there with the emojis. Yep, you're exactly right. Fashion Diva says party time. So, guys, at the end of the sessions, to mark the completion, we spam the chat full of good vibe emojis. Valley with the good vibe, Wiz, Tesney, Fashion Diva, NJ. Guys, we love to see it. Fantastic. Alfie GP said, beg people to buy a subscription. I am going to mention it. Oh, that's funny. Good job, Anjal. Alam said, bro's actually a lifesaver. I can't lie still. Come on. Nice, Alam. Glad you think so. Drew said, come on. And we get in those grade 9s. Yep, good energy, Drew. Good energy. So, guys, final reminder. Today is the last day to get the Live Academy for £37. Inside, what I do is I go live twice. Well, there's a bunch of stuff inside. 2 lives a week, 2 hours foundation, full foundation paper, 2 hours higher, full higher paper. I'm bringing in guest speakers, motivational speakers. There's also kind of bonus mini courses on exam mastery skills. If you have a tutor, I would really recommend thinking carefully about whether you're getting a lot out of your tutoring sessions, or whether this might be more beneficial. My opinion, having seen loads of private tutors and having done this for a super long time, is that unless you have an excellent tutor, some tutors are really excellent, and one-on-one time with them is going to be better than being in the live academy. But guys, unless you have a really excellent tutor, if you have any kind of let's say questions as to how beneficial the tutoring is at the moment, you should really consider doing this. If you have any questions, can answer them in the chat. There's revision community, live lesson recordings, and basically today's the last day that it's going to be £37 a month. It's about to more than double in price because we're adding so much extra stuff in. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know. So you are aware of it before it does go up in price. Fashion Diva said, my tutor is so bad. I asked him a question and he pulled up the mark schemes and he's £100 per month. Fashion Diva, consider asking your parents if you can switch to this. Sam said, will you be live more frequently closer to the exams, or will it always be Monday? For free on YouTube, it will always be Monday. I'm going to keep doing this until the end of exams. But inside of the Live Academy, I'll be doing loads of extra lives. We'll be doing lives every day before the exams. And we'll be doing a bunch of extra lives. Easter course, probably, maybe. But definitely over half term, we'll throw a bunch of extra ones in there. Alfie said, is there a Discord for questions? Inside the Live Academy, there's a community. So you can ask any questions there if that's what you mean. Fashion Diva said, what's the link for the Live Academy? I should really put that in the chat right now, shouldn't I? That was my bad. There we go, guys. Live Academy link is now in the chat, and I will also pin it. There you go. Okay, guys, I'm going to stick around now for a few minutes in case anybody has any questions. Can be about revision, about the Live Academy, about anything. But yeah, really crucially, really importantly, I'm going to keep doing these free lives all the way through exams. All the way through exams on a Monday. Alfie said, how many people in the Live Academy? Alfie, there is now only 5 people signed up. There's only 5 people signed up. It just launched. I mean, if you do foundation, sometimes nobody shows up for the foundation. So then it's like one-to-one tutoring with me for £37 a month, which is insane. Probably it's going to increase a lot over the next couple of months is what I'm predicting. But at the moment, it's really small, really tight-knit community. I think there's only like 4 people who came last session and maybe 3 who came the session before. So yeah, to be honest, it's insane value. Jerome said, were you good with maths in school? Jerome, I was pretty good with maths in school. It was something which came naturally to me. I'm definitely more mathsy than Englishy. A lot of people ask for my grades. I got 11 A stars in my GCSEs. I got 3 A stars in my A levels. I did A-level maths and further maths. And guys, the reason I started the Live Academy and my GCSE maths in the first place was I actually attended a school that was put into special measures, and one of the worst achieving schools in the entire country. It was almost shut down the year I did my GCSEs. So I had to self-teach myself GCSE maths, or actually my maths teacher was pretty good, but most of my GCSEs I had to self-teach. I had to self-teach my A-level maths mostly. And by doing that, I learned a lot of the most effective ways to learn, to revise, to prepare for exams. Nobody else in my school got the grades that I got. Not that many people went on to go to university. But because I was able to learn how to learn and learn how to prepare for exams, especially, I was able to do that even though I went to a school in special measures. I know a lot of you guys don't go to the best schools. And it can be tough. It can be really, really tough. But that's why I'm so inspired to do my GCSE maths, to do the Live Academy, to try and bring a affordable, high quality education to as many people as possible. Because I know what it feels like to be in a school that really sucks, to be quite frank. I don't think I've mentioned that on a stream before, but yeah, guys, my school was actually in special measures, and I looked it up the other day. I didn't know this, but it got one of the worst results in the entire country. So, like the Ofsted report from my year said, amongst the worst results in the entire country. But I'm grateful for the experience, to be honest, because A, it inspired me to do this, but B, it forced me to learn how to learn. And basically, I'm going to be launching this next week, probably with a YouTube video, honestly, called something like How to Pass GCSE Maths. How to Pass GCSE Maths. Or How to Get a Grade 9. It's actually the same, guys. The way you pass is the same way you get a grade 9. 3 steps. Number 1, understand the content. Understand the content. Number 2, memorize. Memorize the content. Number 3, apply. Apply the content. Now, I'm launching this next week, guys. It's called the Mastery System. Mastery System. And most of this stuff is going to be completely free. And I'm going to have resources for each stage of the game. Each stage of the game. So hold tight for next week, guys. It's an exciting time. It's so exciting. Fashion Diva said, "I'm so stressed. My school barely help us. Don't worry, Fashion Diva. That's why I'm here. I've got your back. I'm gonna have you back all the way through GCSE Maths, and whether people sign up to the Live Academy or not. Obviously, if you sign up to the Live Academy, you're gonna have way more support, way more mindset advice, emotional advice. I've got also kind of supposed to be a hidden mini gift, but there's a bonus mini course in there on how to deal with exam anxiety, how to boost your energy, how to de-stress, how to visualize for success, all of this stuff. But I'm also going to share a lot of those tips and tricks and stuff for free on social media. So don't worry, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be with you all the way. Tess said, self-teach is the only hope at the moment. Yeah. I know it's tough. I know it's tough, guys, but hopefully the resources I'm putting out are going to help. Looking at the chat. Valley V said, I'm topping my maths up thanks to this channel. Hey, Valley V, my pleasure. My pleasure. Okay, I can't see too many questions. So, guys, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I can't tell you enough. You should sign up to the Live Academy while it's £37 a month. If you have a private tutor, again, really think about it. Speak to your parents. If you don't have a private tutor, also it's going to be extremely beneficial. Well, it's even more beneficial, right? If you don't have a private tutor. So again, if you're interested, you can check out the website. There's about to be a lot of extra stuff added compared to what's on the website at the moment, but I'm only gonna kind of update the information on there when I also increase the price, which is going to be in the next couple of days. So yeah. Ben Wakat said, bro, there's honestly no need for the academy. Just look at Cognito that has every single subject and watch the videos. Then look at questions, just like do it. No need to pay £37 a month for a live. Honestly, if that works for you, if it's working and you're confident and you're happy and you're moving forwards and achieving what you want to achieve, 100%. There's enough free resources out there, guys. But they don't work for everybody. And especially in my opinion, you get so much from this like live community-based learning. That's why I'm doing it. So if you're happy with the static resources, the videos, 100% you don't need to pay. But a lot of people are struggling because it's tough, man, with these, it's tough with these hyper-stimulating social media content has made it so hard to focus. GCSEs are so overwhelming because you have 11 different subjects or at least 9 different subjects. So many topics, so many topics, so many questions, so many exams, etc. It's kind of nice to know that your most important one is just taken care of. So you don't have to, of course, but it's extremely helpful in many situations. Okay, guys, I'm going to check out for now. I'm going to say adios. I look forward to seeing you next Monday or on Thursday. If you do join me for the Live Academy, can you please put a what emoji should we go for? Let's go for any emoji. Let's go for a hand emoji, ideally for a wave goodbye, or any emoji. Guys, it's been a pleasure today. Thank you, Fashion Diva. Goodbye. Thank you, Zara. Goodbye. Thank you, Tesney says ciao. Goodbye, Zara. Goodbye, Tiara. Adios, got X shifting. Goodbye, Cosmic Vlogs. Adios, Jerome. Au revoir, Sam. Goodbye, Anjali. Guys, have a fantastic evening. Bye from me for now. Over and out. Catch you next Monday.